So far, we've been talking about motion when mass was constant. Now, let's say when mass is not constant, mass is changing. What kind of situation can we have? So can I call these variable mass problems? And here's the fun part. When we think of problems like this, we usually think of when mass is being lost. But it could happen both ways. Mass could either be added as you go, or it could be lost as you go. So a simple example is, you're driving in a car. What is constantly happening? Good. So the car is constantly changing its mass, right? So you cannot really consider that to be a constant mass of the car. However, the mass loss that you have is so tiny with respect to the whole car that you kind of ignore it. But it becomes really important when you think about rockets shooting up into the air, right? That requires a lot of mass change in order to push and propel the rocket up into space. So there you cannot ignore the dm over dt. Or like a snowball. It starts at the top of the mountain and it's tiny, right? But what happens to it as it comes down? It becomes bigger and bigger. And okay, so now let's talk about them. So the variable mass problems could be when, one, mass is added with time, or two, mass is lost over time. So that snowball example would be snowball downhill, right? That's an example of a mass being added. Or we could have an example of the raindrops, right? As raindrops fall, what happens to them? They pick up more suspended particles from the atmosphere and they become bigger as they come down. Okay, mass lost over time. One really good one is rockets or cars moving. Actually, there could be another example. So what if you have a truck with a hole in it, in the bed? Like a what?
Salt truck.
Yes, or a salt truck. What is it called? Salt winter.
You can just call it a salt.
I'm just going to call it a salt winter truck.
Okay.
We all know what we're saying, right?
Sure.
Salt winter truck.
You can also call it that crop duster.
The what?
Crop duster.
Oh yeah, a crop duster. Or we could talk about like the harvester, right?
Yeah.
Or like as it goes through, it keeps dumping it into another car that's going by it, and it keeps adding on to it, right? Yeah, so all of those things are where mass is changing.